The Heat lost yesterday. Embarrassing loss to Cleveland. They had a 22-point lead at one point. It was a rough go. It was a rough go to lose to that team. And now you've talked about not only you losing road games, but man, you're just losing to the dregs of the league. That team looked like you were taking on Cleveland. They looked like they had no care in the world. I don't know if they lulled the Heat into just a complete false sense of security, but as soon as they started punching back, man, the Heat just they were like Wilder. They were like on the stinky leg where it was just like, wow, I can't get going. Which by the way, we'll get into him a little bit later because
the Heat pulled the Jersey Joe Walcott. They were winning through the first 12 rounds, and then they got knocked out at the 13th round.
The Heat are Jersey Joe Walcott.
I got to tell you, it's one of those situations where, like, they just went through it. They were beating their butts, and they're like, "We got this."
Got it.
And
I get that because you have now had you've now had 30-point lead and a 22-point lead on that team. But it is a sign of maturity that you could go out there and finish the job.
That's what guys like Jimmy Butler, you would hope eventually that Bam gets the respect of the team where he can go in and like, yo, what are we doing? Let's go. That's one of the things that, look, believe it or not, you'd like to say that Spo could have did some things differently. But that's players, man. Players got to take control of that thing.
Can you give me a little bit of Bam yesterday, Robbie? Bam was obviously not happy with it. And, this losing on the road to him is getting quite old for the Heat youngest All-Star in Heat history. And, he afterwards, I was hoping yesterday he had like a cut under his eye. Him and Dunks collided. And I thought like, oh, maybe we got a sign from the gods here. We got like Bam with the Band-Aid. I remember Band Wade back in the day, so maybe we have Bam Wade, like it's going that way, but like Bam not pleased.
Bad on the road, and we got to figure it out. And until we figure it out, we gonna keep losing to teams on the road.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter who it is.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Like we as fans and people that follow the team, we look at who the team is. I don't necessarily do that because they're pros too.
Mm-hmm.
And their records are not great, but all teams in the NBA, if you're slipping, they can beat you.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have a game where you can't defend the Cavaliers to where they're getting a parade to the free throw lines. They're the Cavs.
Okay, but that's a whole nother. That's the issue. The issue is not who you're playing. The issue is how you're playing.
Yes,
and so we need to, and I guess
that's what I'm saying.
Some point we need to stop making it about who it is.
No, it's about the Heat. It's about their struggles.
Exactly.
But I'm
exactly.
saying, like these types of mistakes and this piss poor play is just you just can't have it anymore.
I think Bam was trying to say he was going to say bad teams on the road, but then he paused and said,
"Right,
keep winning on the road."
Exactly. Well, and that's we all fall into that. How often do we look at the record and chalk it up to a win?
Yeah,
right,
a lot.
And they were only 6.5-point favorites yesterday, despite blowing them out 2 days earlier.
As long as I was in football, rule number one, they're pros too. Like, that guy, they could have a guy that was a number one pick. It's not his fault he went to a team that's bad, but he's still a good player.
You got the Knicks, you got the Cavs, you got the Hawks. Minnesota, but that was earlier in the season. That was nobody knew how bad Minnesota was, but they have losses to 4 of the 5 worst teams in the NBA.
Everybody talk about me raining on parades.
Nah,
that's a fact.
It's a fact, but and I don't talk about.
I thought I was being very nice. I was pointing out the Minnesota loss wasn't so bad. It was early in the season. That was the second night back to back.
That was Andrew Wiggins going crazy.
We didn't know how bad Minnesota was going to be at the time.
Here's how this goes.
That's what the Heat.
You want to be 500 on the road and 75% at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good NBA team.
They're better than 75% at home, but they're worse than 500
on
the road.
but again, that's you talk about the elite basketball. They're better than that, but that's where you start to where you can separate yourself from everybody. Because we'd say it in football. You think about it. 75% at home means you win what 6 out of 8 games at home.
Yep.
Right, and then you go 4-4 on the road. That's 10-6. Okay, that's a good football team. Okay, now when you start separating yourself, you go undefeated at home, right? or you go 5-3 on the road. But that's where the Heat need to get to. You need to get to where you can play your best. And this happens with a lot of young players too. Let's not forget, a lot of young players on this Heat team, okay? And I was pleasantly surprised at how well Duncan started, simply because when you think of road team, right? I mean, going on the road, that's where all the shooters struggle, right? All the bench guys, that's where they struggle. They got off to a good start. So I'm thinking, okay, here we go.
Texters are writing in that trade not looking so good. I gotta be honest with you. One of the last problems I'm seeing on this team is Jay Crowder. Andre Iguodala hasn't been fantastic. Honestly, I went through that game yesterday. I was like, I forgot he was on the team. Like he's still at that.
He took a key shot late in the game.
Yeah, he took a key shot late in the game, bricked it. I'm not feeling the impact of Andre Iguodala quite yet on this team. But this is the guys that are there. This isn't a question. These are not problems that are being presented by the new guys, and the guys that they had. This has kind of been a problem since you started bringing James Johnson back into the fold with this team. I mean, this team has been kind of middling for a while, but health has been a big concern. I think that they've really, really taken a dip since losing Myers Leonard and since they've lost Tyler Hero, and now, of course, haven't had Jimmy Butler for, 3 out of the last 7 games or so. And the record's reflected, and they need him. I mean,
they should have won without him yesterday.
They should have won without him yesterday, Robbie. But in a situation like that, they're not giving up that game yesterday with Jimmy. They're not.
Yeah, they had nobody to go to the free throw line.
That being said, they did lose that game to the Hawks with Jimmy.
Yeah.
So,
but they didn't have a big lead though. I mean, the Hawks was a back and forth kind of game.
Whatever, man. Yeah. Two teams with 15 wins. Yeah. You don't lose those games.
Did they lose to the Knicks with Jimmy Butler? I believe I think Jimmy Butler played.
I did.
And for people who saying the trade wasn't good, first of all, Waiters wasn't playing. Okay, Winslow was out.
Winslow did not play.
Is he still out?
He's still. I don't think he's come back yet.
So guess what? The trade is better because you got 2 guys that play.
Mm-hmm.
So just start
and
there.
Also flexibility. Like you're gonna have cap space.
But I don't care about all that. I just look at what these guys offer right now. You can't tell me.
This is why you have to care about it, though. You have to care about it because if they're not playing now and you have them on a contract for 2 more years, then getting out of that contract's a big deal.
But I like to look at it this way: are the Heat better after that trade? Yes.
Jay Crowder's been good.
But they got guys who are playing. Yeah, if one guy's hurt and the other guy's not playing, they are better. So the trade worked out. Is it short term? Sure, it's short term.
Sure.
But guess what?
It's also been unfair to judge that trade right now because you haven't had them all together.
Right.
For
you haven't had everybody. So
it has been hodgepodge. It's been mishmash.
I would guess Iguodala is a little tired.
Maybe.
Right.
He is a plumber.
I'm going to tell you what. If you're not pleasantly surprised at what Jay Crowder is doing.
I don't think there's anybody. The Jay Crowder's been great. There's nothing to be. I mean, he did miss a big 3 last night, but he has been still stroking it. Like that hasn't cooled off yet.
He can't be too wide open. He has to be just a little open or maybe a little bit contested.
I tell you what, Jay Crowder's not afraid to just shoot a 3 on the break.
Yeah.
He'll pull up.
And which is shocking. Like when you think, who's going to pull up for 3? Jay Crowder. No, I didn't. I thought, move the ball, open shot in the corner. Nope.
But he was too wide open. He had time. He had way too much time for that shot.
Another texter writes, and how many times is Jimmy Butler going to miss a game for personal reasons? Guys,
that's a Heat thing.
Let me ask you something though. You don't think Jimmy Butler's missing a game for a good reason?
We don't know what the reason is, so we can't.
You don't think he is?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Like Jimmy Butler had to be convinced by Eric Spoelstra to go watch the birth of his child. You realize that, right? Like, he was going to come to opening night, and Eric Spoelstra's like, go watch your kid be born. Come on, man. The guy's not going to miss basketball just because. Really?
He missed the Dwayne Wade ceremony, too.
But I know he hasn't been a Heat player for long, but he's been a Heat player for good. Like, can't you give him a little bit more credit than that? That guy cares about winning, Despite what everybody says, that guy cares about winning and has been a good teammate on the Heat roster. Are you effing kidding me? People are thinking that he's not missing the games for good reason.
I don't, especially with the Heat. Be careful there.
Yeah, if we don't know the reason, we can't be.
Be careful. Just because you don't have the full reason why doesn't mean the reason isn't legit. And
yeah, it'd be pretty reckless.
And if you know Jimmy Butler and you know the Heat, you know that for whatever reason it's going to be legit.
Yeah, it'd be pretty reckless to criticize him missing games, and then when you find out the reason afterwards, like, oh man,
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
dumb.
like
But that's so stupid.
That's
to
what
me.
we do.
Why would you even?
That's what fans do.
You think Jimmy Butler? What do you think? He's just on Nikki Beach, just drinking Mai Tais? What do you think he's doing? Weird to me, man. We'll back after this.